Welcome to Learning Studio Zone. Let's talk about something important today: learning English. Have you ever wanted to speak English fluently, to understand others with ease and express your thoughts clearly? Maybe you've dreamed of speaking like native, but then reality hits. You don't have a teacher. You don't go to an English school. You don't live in a place where people speak English. You don't know where to begin. It feels difficult. It feels confusing. Sometimes it feels like you're completely alone on this journey. I understand, because I've been there too. It is a quiet evening. The sky outside is turning orange. The day is ending. I sit alone in my room. There is no sound, no one around, just me, my notebook, and a small dream. A dream to speak English. A dream to feel confident when I use this language. Not just to memorize grammar rules, not just to pass tests, but to really speak, to connect, to communicate, and to feel proud. But I don't have a teacher. I don't have classmates. I don't have someone correcting my mistakes or guiding me. I don't even know if I'm doing things the right way. Still, something inside me says, you can do this. Even without a class. Even without a perfect plan. Even without someone to talk to, you can learn English. You can improve. You can grow. You just have to take the first step. I tell myself one thing every single day. Don't give up. Yes, my English is not perfect. My grammar has mistakes. Sometimes I forget words. My pronunciation isn't clear, but I keep trying. I don't let fear stop me, because I believe in something stronger than fear, hope. I have the will to try. I have the heart to begin. And honestly, that's enough. I want you to believe this too. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to start. Step by step. Word by word. Day by day. Learning English is not about knowing every rule or using big words. It's about small efforts made every day. It's about listening with purpose, speaking with courage, reading with interest, writing your thoughts, even if they're simple. Your room can be your classroom. Your notebook can be your teacher. Your phone can be your tool. And your own voice, that's your most powerful guide. Start small. Say one sentence. This is a chair. This is my bed. This is my hand. Say it out loud. Listen to yourself. Speak again. Speak slowly. Speak clearly. Speak without fear. It may feel strange at first. It may feel silly. But that's okay. That's normal. Every strong speaker once felt the same. Don't wait for someone to tell you now you are ready, because you are already ready. Right now, as you sit here, reading or listening to these words, I want you to know you are enough. You can do this. You don't need expensive books. You don't need to travel to an English-speaking country. You don't need someone beside you all the time. You need one thing: the desire to grow. You already have it. That's why you're here. Yes, the journey may be slow. Yes, it will take time. But every day you practice, even for just 5 minutes, you are getting closer to your goal. And here's the best part. You are not alone. I'm with you. I'm learning too. I've felt the same fear, the same doubts, the same silence. And I've learned that learning English is not about speed. It's about courage. It's about believing that even small steps matter. Even if you don't see progress today, keep going. Even if you feel stuck, keep going. Even if others don't believe in you, you believe in you. Because one day, your voice will be strong. Your sentences will flow. Your thoughts will come in English. And when that happens, you'll look back and realize you did it all by yourself, at home, in your own time, in your own way. This is the beginning of something beautiful. This is the first page of your English journey. So take a deep breath. Pick up your notebook. Look around your room. And speak. Just one sentence today, then one more tomorrow. Let your voice grow. Let your confidence rise. Let your English become a part of your daily life. Your journey starts now, and I'm right here with you. Let's learn together. Let's grow together. You can speak English. You can learn English, step by step, word by word, moment by moment. And always remember, you can do this. Chapter 1. Speaking English Alone. It was a quiet morning. The sun was slowly rising and the world outside was calm. I woke up with one clear thought in my mind. I want to speak English today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have a classroom. I didn't even know exactly what to do. But I knew one thing. I had to start. So, I got out of bed and looked around my room. Everything was silent, but inside me, something had started moving. A kind of hope. A small voice that said, "Just try." I looked at the table in front of me and whispered, "This is a table." Then I looked at the chair. I said, "This is a chair." I looked at the window. "This is a window." The words were simple. The sentences were easy. But still, I felt nervous. My voice was low. I was speaking to myself. No one was listening, but I still felt shy. It felt strange, like I was doing something silly. But at the same time, it felt good. I was using English. I was speaking. I was doing it. Alone. After a few minutes, I walked into the kitchen. I continued speaking. I picked up a cup. "This is a cup." I touched a spoon. "This is a spoon." I looked at a plate. "This is a plate." I didn't just name objects. I spoke to them like they were my friends. It made me laugh a little. But that laugh gave me courage. Every word gave me more confidence. I was starting small, but I was starting. Then, I went to the mirror. I stood in front of it and looked at myself. It was just me and my reflection. I smiled and said, "Hello, how are you?" I laughed. It felt funny, but also powerful. I was having my first English conversation with myself. I asked, "What is your name?" I answered, "My name is Sam." I said, "Nice to meet you." And then I replied to myself, "Nice to meet you too." These were basic phrases I had seen in books or heard in videos, but now I was saying them. I was using them, not just reading or watching, but speaking. That was my first English conversation. No audience, no teacher, just me. And that was enough. I walked back to my room, sat on the bed, and opened my notebook. It was still mostly empty, but my mind was full of thoughts. I wrote down a few new words. I read them aloud. I repeated them again and again. At first, my pronunciation was not good. Some words felt strange in my mouth. I forgot others. Sometimes, I even said them the wrong way. But I didn't stop. Because I realized something very important. Mistakes are part of learning. Every time I said something wrong, I smiled and tried again. I was not afraid to make mistakes because no one was watching. I was safe. I was free. I could speak slowly. I could speak many times. I could pause. I could laugh. I could repeat. And in that freedom, I found something powerful. Confidence. Not the confidence that comes from speaking on a stage. Not the kind that comes from perfect grammar, but the real kind. The quiet kind. The kind that grows when you speak, even when you're unsure. The kind that says, "Keep going." As the day continued, I spoke English again and again. When I brushed my teeth, I said, "I brush my teeth." When I made tea, I said, "I boil water." I pour tea. When I wash the dishes, I said, "I clean the plate. I dry the spoon." I turned my daily actions into simple English sentences. The more I did it, the easier it became. The more I spoke, the more natural it felt. Yes, I still made mistakes. Yes, I still paused to think of the right words. But that didn't matter. What mattered was that I was doing it. I was living in English, even just a little. Later that evening, I sat quietly and thought about the day. I hadn't learned any big grammar rules. I hadn't memorized a long list of vocabulary. But I had done something more important. I had begun. And that, I realized, was the real first step. Not knowing everything. Not being perfect. Just starting. That's how learning English at home begins. You speak, even when no one is there. You talk, even if it's just to yourself. You describe the things around you. You use the words you already know. You try. At first it may feel uncomfortable. You may feel silly. But with every word, you become stronger. That first day, I didn't speak much. I didn't say long sentences. But I said something. And that something was a seed. A small seed of growth, planted in silence. From that seed, something beautiful started to grow. My voice. And I knew deep inside that if I kept doing this every day, even for a few minutes, my English would grow too. Speaking English alone may seem small, but it is not. It is powerful. It is brave. Because you are not waiting for someone to help you. You are helping yourself. And that's where confidence begins. That's where fluency begins. That's where your journey begins. So if you ever feel like you're not doing enough, remember this. If you say even one sentence today, that is enough. If you speak just to yourself, that is enough. If you make mistakes and still keep trying, that is more than enough. Because this is the foundation. This is the beginning. And every beginning is important. And now that I had taken that first step, a question came to my mind. How do others, especially children, learn a language so well? They don't read books. They don't study grammar. They just listen. All day. Every day. I wanted to learn like that too. And that simple question became the start of my next step in learning English. It was time to open my ears and train my listening. Chapter 2. Creating English Habits at Home. After I took the first step, speaking English alone, I realized something important. If I wanted to improve, I had to make English part of my life. Not just for 5 minutes, not just when I felt motivated. I had to live with English. I had to create daily habits. Simple habits, easy habits. Habits that would slowly, quietly change my life. That morning, I thought about how children learn a language. They don't study grammar books. They don't sit and memorize rules. They just listen. They watch. They copy. They repeat. Slowly. Naturally. And that gave me an idea. What if I learn English like a child? So I made a promise to myself. Every day I will touch English. I will do something in English. I will create small habits that I can keep. No pressure, no stress, just consistent daily practice. And so my day began in English. I woke up and said, "Good morning." I didn't say it in my native language. I said it in English. I spoke to myself in short phrases. Wake up, get out of bed, open the curtain. I turned my morning routine into an English practice. While brushing my teeth, I described what I was doing. I am brushing my teeth. While making breakfast, I said, I boil eggs. I drink tea. I cut bread. These sentences were simple, but I was thinking in English. I was connecting actions with words. Next, I added listening. I didn't have a teacher, but I had a phone. I opened YouTube and searched for easy English listening videos. I found English learners' podcasts, short stories, and beginner conversations. I didn't understand everything, but I kept listening, while cleaning the room, while folding my clothes, while walking in the yard. English was now my background sound, like music, like wind. At first, it felt confusing. I only caught a few words. Hello? My name? Today? But those few words were gold, because I realized I didn't need to understand everything. I just needed to hear English every day. And soon, something magical started happening. Words began to feel familiar. I began to guess meanings. I started recognizing patterns. How are you? I'm fine. What's your name? These were no longer just sentences from books. They became part of me. Next, I made another small habit, writing one line a day in English. I kept a small notebook. Every evening before bed, I wrote one simple sentence about my day. Today I cooked rice. I talked to my cousin. I was tired today. Just one sentence, that's all. But every sentence was a brick, and slowly I was building a house, an English house in my mind. Sometimes I didn't know the right word, so I described it. If I forgot fridge, I wrote, the box that keeps food cold. If I didn't remember umbrella, I wrote, the thing I use when it rains. And you know what? That was okay. It helped me be creative. It helped me remember. I stopped waiting for perfect words. I started using simple ones. Another habit I built was talking to objects. Yes, I really did that. I would sit in my room and look around. I'd point to the fan, the curtain, the notebook, and name them. Then, I would make small sentences. This fan is slow. My curtain is red. I write in this notebook. I even began to ask questions. What is this? I'd answer, this is a pen. Where is the phone? It's on the table. It felt funny, but it worked. I was speaking. I was thinking. I was building the habit of English. Slowly, I brought English into everything I loved. I changed my phone language to English. At first, it was hard, but it pushed me to learn new words. Settings, gallery, message, alarm. I listened to English songs. Even if I didn't understand all the lyrics, I sang along. I searched the lyrics, read them, and tried to feel the emotion behind the words. I started watching English cartoons and short clips, slow English, with subtitles. I would pause, repeat, and sometimes I'd even speak with the characters. When a cartoon said, let's go, I said it too. Let's go. When they laughed, I laughed too. It felt like I was not alone. I was part of a conversation. My home became my school. My mirror became my conversation partner. My notebook became my memory bank. My phone became my teacher. And most of all, my heart became open. Open to making mistakes. Open to learning. Open to believing that I could do it. You see, habits are not big things. They are small actions done every day. And English learning is not a mountain to climb in one day. It's a walk. One step at a time. Every day. I didn't have much time, I didn't have special tools, but I had 5 minutes in the morning. I had 10 minutes before bed. I had a heart full of hope. So I used those minutes wisely. I made them mine. I made them English. And over time, my habits became my identity. I was no longer someone who was trying to learn English. I was someone who was living English. That changed everything. Now, when I hear people speak English, I don't feel afraid. I feel curious. I try to catch their words. I don't run away from English anymore. I walk toward it with a smile. And now, I ask myself, what is the next step? I had built small habits. I had started living with English. Now I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to think in English. Yes, I was speaking. Yes, I was listening. but my mind still translated from my native language. I wanted to stop that. I wanted to think naturally, in English. And that became the beginning of a new journey. Chapter 3. Learning to think in English. When I realized that I had made English part of my day, I felt proud. I had built good habits. I was speaking to myself. I was listening, reading, and even writing simple lines. But still, something was missing. I noticed it every time I tried to speak a full sentence. I would pause. I would think in my native language, then try to translate it into English. It felt slow. It felt heavy. And sometimes I got stuck. I forgot words. I lost confidence. That's when I understood. If I wanted to speak fluently, I had to think in English. I didn't want to just use English. I wanted to live it. I wanted to dream in English. I wanted my thoughts, the voice inside my head, to speak this language too. But how do you think in a language that isn't your own? At first, it felt impossible. But then, I remembered how I had started learning English. Not with big goals, not with heavy books, but with small steps. So I told myself, let's start small again. One thought, one sentence, one moment at a time. That day, I decided to observe my thoughts. I listened to what I was saying inside my head. When I stood up, I said in my mind, I'm standing. When I walked to the door, I'm opening the door. When I heard birds outside, the birds are singing. It was simple, but it worked. Instead of translating, I was replacing my thoughts with English. Not all the time. Just sometimes. Just enough to keep my brain connected to the language. At first, it was slow. My thoughts would come in my native language first, but every time I caught one, I gently changed it. Native. Aaj mausam acha hai. English. The weather is nice today. I didn't judge myself. I didn't try to be perfect. I just practiced, quietly, kindly, daily. This small practice slowly changed me. I began to notice English words coming faster to my mind. I didn't search for translations all the time. I started thinking in pictures and describing those pictures in English. For example, I saw my cup of tea and thought, it's hot. It smells nice. I saw my shoes near the door and thought, I need to clean them. I looked at the sky and thought, it might rain today. Every little thought became a mini English lesson. To make this habit stronger, I created thinking zones. These were specific times or activities when I would try to think only in English. While cooking, while cleaning, while walking, while taking a shower, while lying in bed at night. In those moments, I didn't need to talk to anyone. But I could talk to myself. I could describe, observe, ask, imagine, all in English. I also used my mirror again, but this time differently. I stood in front of it, looked into my eyes, and asked questions. Simple, daily questions. Hey, how are you today? I'm okay, just a little tired. What did you eat? I had bread and eggs. What are you thinking now? I'm thinking about tomorrow's work. The more I did this, the easier it became. It felt like I was talking to a friend, an English-speaking friend who lived inside me. And then came the next level. Imaginary conversations. Yes, I created people in my mind. A shopkeeper, a friend, a teacher. I imagined dialogues. Hi, can I get a kilo of rice, please? Sure. Anything else? No, that's all. Thank you. Sometimes I acted like I was giving advice to someone. You should drink more water. Don't worry. Everything will be okay. These thoughts weren't just practice. They were life, real thoughts, real emotions, in English. Slowly, I stopped feeling afraid of English. I stopped thinking, This is a foreign language. I started feeling, this is my language too. Because language is not about grammar, not about big words. It's about connection, about expression, about saying what's inside you. And when your thoughts begin to speak in English, something powerful happens. You become free, free from translation, free from hesitation, free from fear. I remember one evening, I was sitting in my garden. The sun was setting. The sky was painted orange and pink. And without planning, I whispered to myself, "It's a beautiful evening." It came naturally. No translation, no thinking, just a simple, honest thought, in English. And I smiled, because that small sentence told a big story. It told me, you are growing. It told me, you are thinking in English. It told me, you are becoming who you dreamed to be. I still made mistakes. I still forgot words. But now, I had a voice inside that spoke the language I loved, and that made all the difference. Thinking in English didn't happen in one day. It was not magic. It was a journey. Chapter 4. Speaking English with Confidence. As I continued my journey, something began to change inside me. I was thinking more in English, making fewer translations in my head, and slowly, I started to feel more at ease with the language. But deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. A bigger challenge still waited for me. I could think in English. I could talk to myself. But could I speak English with confidence, in front of others? That thought made me nervous. I had no problem speaking when I was alone, but the moment I imagined a real person in front of me, I felt fear. What if I made a mistake? What if I forgot a word? What if they didn't understand me? Then, one day, I asked myself a powerful question. What's more important, being perfect or being brave? The answer was clear: bravery. So I made a promise to myself. I will speak. I will make mistakes, but I will not stay silent. Starting small, but speaking. Boldly. I didn't begin by talking to strangers. I started small. I began talking to myself out loud, not in a whisper, but in a normal, clear voice. In the morning, I'd say, "Good morning. Today, I will learn something new." In the mirror, I'd smile and say, "You are learning. Keep going." It felt strange at first, but slowly I began to enjoy it. It became part of my day, just like brushing my teeth or drinking tea. This small step was helping me build a powerful habit: confidence through repetition. Using simple English without fear. One thing I learned quickly was that I didn't need difficult words or advanced grammar. Simple English works beautifully. Instead of thinking, what if I say it wrong? I started thinking, how can I say it simply? If I didn't know the word vehicle, I'd say, the thing we use to go somewhere. If I forgot refrigerator, I'd say, the cold box that keeps food fresh. The point wasn't to sound perfect. It was to keep speaking, no matter what. And that gave me confidence. Speaking with apps and tools, I also began using English-speaking apps and tools. Some apps allowed me to speak and repeat phrases. Some gave me feedback, and some just let me talk freely. Even though I wasn't speaking to a real person, these apps gave me practice. They helped me hear my voice in English. I became more comfortable hearing myself talk, and that's a big part of confidence. Mistakes are not the end. In the beginning, I made mistakes every day. Sometimes I said he instead of she. Sometimes I forgot what I wanted to say. Sometimes I got stuck and paused for too long. But every time, I reminded myself, mistakes mean I'm learning. I no longer said, sorry for my bad English. Instead, I said, I'm still learning English. That shift in mindset changed everything. Real-life confidence moments. One day, I had to speak to a tourist who looked lost. My heart raced. I almost stayed quiet. But I remembered my promise. Be brave. Speak anyway. I walked up and said, "Do you need help?" The tourist smiled and asked for directions. I explained in simple English, and when she said, "Thank you," I felt like I had won a gold medal. That moment showed me something powerful. You don't need perfect English to connect. You just need courage. Celebrate small wins. Every time I spoke a sentence without fear, I celebrated. Every time someone understood me, I smiled. Every time I corrected myself, I said, "Well done." Confidence isn't something we wait for. It's something we create. One word at a time. Now, I feel stronger, more sure of myself. I still make mistakes, but I speak with joy. Because speaking English is not about showing off, it's about sharing yourself. So, to you, my friend, I say this. Don't wait to be perfect. Speak now. Speak with heart. Speak with hope. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to build real conversations, how to ask, answer, and keep the talk going. Let's step into the world of real connection. Chapter 5. Building Real Conversations. Now that I had started speaking English with more confidence, I wanted to go further. I wanted to speak not just to myself, but with others. I wanted to have real conversations. But how do you start a conversation when you are still learning? What if you don't understand the reply? What if you freeze? These questions came to my mind, but I reminded myself, a conversation is not a test. It's just two people sharing. Step 1. Start with simple questions. I didn't need big words to talk to someone. I just needed simple questions like, "What's your name? Where are you from? Do you like tea? What do you do?" I practiced these lines again and again. I stood in front of a mirror and imagined someone replying. I even wrote small dialogues in my notebook. It was like acting, and it helped a lot. Step 2. Learn basic answers. 2. It's not enough to ask questions. We also need to answer. So I practiced my answers. My name is Sam. I'm from Pakistan. Yes, I like tea very much. I'm a student. These short answers helped me stay calm. I wasn't trying to be perfect. I just wanted to keep the conversation going. Step 3. Use fillers to sound natural. Sometimes in a real talk, I didn't know what to say next. I learned to use small English fillers like, "Let me think. Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure. But I think..." These phrases gave me time to think without feeling awkward. They also made me sound more natural. Step 4. Talk to someone if you can. I looked for chances to speak. I talked to a tourist one day. Another time, I spoke to a person online in a language group. The conversations were short, but they felt big to me. I understood something very clearly. Every conversation, no matter how small, is a win. It builds fluency. It grows confidence. It trains your brain to think in English. Step 5. When you don't understand yes, sometimes I didn't understand what the other person said. But instead of feeling bad, I learned to say, "Sorry, can you say that again? Can you please speak slowly? I didn't understand that word." These simple sentences saved me many times. And people were kind. They helped me. They smiled. I wasn't judged. I was learning, and they respected that. Now, I try to have small conversations every week. Even if it's just 2 to 3 minutes, it's powerful. Because with each talk, my English becomes less scary and more natural. So remember, Start with small questions. Give simple answers. Use fillers. And if you don't understand, ask. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need the courage to begin. In the next chapter, I'll show you how I used English in my daily life, during simple routines like cooking, walking, and cleaning. These everyday moments became my speaking practice. Let's make English a part of your life, not just a subject, but a habit. Chapter 6. Using daily life to practice. Speaking after learning how to build real conversations, I realized something important. English is not just for classrooms or books. It can live in my kitchen, my room, my street, and even in my silence. I didn't need a language partner every day. I had something better: my daily life. Every small action was a chance to speak and learn. So I turned my ordinary day into an English classroom. Speaking while doing. When I woke up, I started my day with English. I looked outside and said, "It's a beautiful morning. The sun is shining." As I brushed my teeth, I said, "I'm brushing my teeth. I do this every day." When I made tea, I spoke aloud. "I need water. I will boil it. Then I will add tea leaves." Was someone listening? Number. But it didn't matter. I was speaking. I was training my brain to think in English. Slowly, these moments became a habit, just like breathing. Talking to things around me. I began talking to objects around me. "You are a chair. I sit on you." This is my phone. I use it to learn English. "Hello, mirror. How do I look today?" It sounds funny, I know, but it helped me learn names, verbs, and practice sentence making in real time. The best part? I could do this anywhere. No need for internet, no need for a teacher. Thinking in English during tasks. When I went for a walk, I didn't just walk. I observed and described everything in English. "The road is empty today. There is a dog sleeping under that tree. The air feels cool. I like it." Even during house chores like cleaning, washing, or cooking, I kept talking to myself. "Let me clean this table. I need to wash the dishes now. Where's the salt? Oh, here it is." These sentences were simple, but they helped me build fluency, because the more I said them, the easier they became. Creating routines with English, I also made short routines to follow every day. For example, morning English, 5 minutes. Say 5 sentences about the day. Talk about your plan. Today, I will do this. Afternoon. English, 5 minutes. Describe your lunch. I am eating rice. Use new words you learned in the morning. Evening English, 5 to 10 minutes. Talk about what you did today. Look in the mirror and speak 5 sentences about your feelings. This made English a daily activity, not just a study subject. Using visuals to speak more. Sometimes I picked up random objects and challenged myself. I would take a pen and say, "This is a pen. It is blue. I use it to write. It's made of plastic. It has a cap." 1 object. 5 sentences. Then I moved to the next object. This activity built my vocabulary and gave me confidence to describe things. No time is wasted. Even when I was tired, I did one small thing in English, maybe just 1 line. Even when I had only 2 minutes, I spoke a sentence. I stopped waiting for perfect time or perfect mood. I just spoke, because every word, every line, was part of my journey. Now English lives with me. It walks with me. It cooks with me. It even dreams with me. It's no longer a foreign language. It's becoming a part of my life. And guess what? You can do this too. Look around you. Your world is full of practice material. You don't need a classroom. You have your life. In the next chapter, I'll share how I started listening actively to learn English faster. through music, videos, and voices around me. Listening became my second teacher. Let's unlock the power of listening together. Chapter 7. Learning by Listening. After speaking to myself and using English in my daily life, I found a new way to grow: listening. I realized something powerful. Before we speak well, we must listen well. Listening is the bridge that connects words to our minds and turns them into our own language. So I began listening, not just hearing, but truly listening. I didn't wait to become fluent first. I used listening to help me become fluent. Step 1. Start with easy English. I didn't begin with movies or long podcasts. They were too fast and difficult in the beginning. Instead, I searched for slow and clear English content. English learning videos on YouTube, English practice podcasts for beginners, children's English stories with subtitles. These were gold. The voices were clear, the words were simple. I could understand the meaning, even if I didn't know every word. And when I listened, I didn't just sit. I repeated the sentences out loud. This technique is called shadowing. You listen, then repeat right after the speaker. It felt strange at first, but it trained my tongue and mind together. Step 2. Listen every day. Even for 5 minutes, listening became a part of my day, just like brushing my teeth. I would listen during my morning walk, cleaning the house, making tea or food. Before sleeping at night, even 5 to 10 minutes a day made a big difference. It added new words to my mind. It made me feel more connected to the English-speaking world. The best part? I didn't need to understand every word. I just let the rhythm and sound of English enter my ears. Over time, my brain started to recognize patterns. Step 3. Repeat and imitate. When I liked a line, I paused the audio and repeated it 3 times. For example, how was your day? How was your day? Repeat it 3 times like the speaker. This helped me sound more natural and confident. Sometimes I watched a short video many times. The first time, I only listened. The second time, I followed with subtitles. The third time, I tried to speak along. Slowly, my pronunciation improved. My listening became sharper. I could even guess meanings without a dictionary. Step 4. Use English songs and dialogues. One day, I heard a simple English song. Don't worry, be happy. I liked it. I played it again and again. I wrote the lyrics in my notebook and sang along. Songs became my favorite listening tool. They were fun, emotional, and memorable. I didn't need to understand every line, just feel the rhythm and catch words I knew. Then I moved to short dialogues from daily life. Ordering food, talking on the phone, asking for help. These conversations helped me learn how people really speak, not just textbook English. Step 5. Stay patient, stay curious. In the beginning, I often felt frustrated. I would ask myself, why can't I understand fast English? Why do they speak so quickly? But slowly, I accepted a simple truth. Listening is a skill, and skills take time. So I stayed patient. I didn't force myself to understand everything. I focused on enjoying the voice, catching a few new words, and feeling connected. Now, I can understand a lot more than before. When I hear English speakers, I smile, because I know I'm growing. My ears are opening. If you want to improve your speaking, first improve your listening. The more you listen, the more natural your English will become. Let English live in your ears. Let it guide your voice. In the next chapter, I'll share how I used a mirror and my own voice to become more confident. How I created a mini stage at home to practice like a speaker. Let's step into confidence together. Chapter 8. Mirror Practice, my secret confidence tool. After I started listening to English and repeating words from songs, videos, and conversations, I discovered something else, something powerful and very personal. A tool that didn't cost anything. A tool I could use anytime, anywhere. A tool that helped me face my fear of speaking. That tool was a mirror. Yes, just a mirror. A piece of glass that reflected more than my face. It reflected my progress, my effort, and my voice. The first time felt strange. The first time I tried to speak English in front of a mirror, I felt awkward. I looked at myself and said, "Hello, how are you?" Then I laughed. I felt silly. I wasn't used to seeing myself speak English. I wasn't sure if I sounded right. My voice felt weak. My lips didn't move confidently. But instead of stopping, I tried again. "Hello, how are you today?" And then again, "I'm fine. Thank you." Each time it got a little easier. Each time my voice became a little louder. And slowly, I began to feel proud. Why the mirror worked. The mirror gave me something no book or video could: self-awareness. I could see my mouth move. I could watch my body language. I could look into my own eyes and build confidence. I started practicing simple sentences every day in front of the mirror. I am learning English. I want to speak better. I can do this. These weren't just sentences. They were affirmations. They were reminders to myself that I am strong and that my voice matters. Building real-life confidence. Speaking in front of a mirror prepared me for the real world. It felt like I was speaking to someone. It was my safe space to make mistakes. If I said a sentence wrong, I just smiled and tried again. There was no judgment, no fear. This helped me prepare for real conversations. When I finally spoke English to someone in real life, I wasn't nervous like before, because I had already spoken to someone very important, myself. How I practiced. Here's how I used the mirror every day. Step 1. Greetings. Practice. Look at the mirror. Smile. Say simple greetings like, "Good morning. How are you? I'm feeling great today." Step 2. Talk about your day. Describe your morning, afternoon, or evening. I went for a walk. I had tea with my friend. I studied English today. Step 3. Imagine conversations. Pretend someone is asking you questions. What's your name? What do you like to do? Answer confidently, like you're in an interview. Step 4. Correct yourself kindly. If you make a mistake, don't panic. Smile and say it again the right way. This teaches your brain to learn through kindness, not fear. The confidence grows. Inside. Every day, I practiced for 5 to 10 minutes. And every day, my confidence grew. The mirror helped me not just speak, but believe in my voice. It reminded me, you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. That one small tool, my mirror, became my best speaking coach. You can do it. 2. You don't need an audience. You don't need a teacher. You just need to show up in front of yourself. Let your eyes see your effort. Let your ears hear your growth. Let your heart feel your courage. Speak to yourself like you would to a friend. Practice not just English, but kindness, bravery, and belief. In the final chapter, I'll leave you with a message from my heart. A reminder that this journey is not just about learning English. It's about discovering the power inside you. Stay with me. We're almost there. Chapter 9. Final message. You were born to speak. This is not just the end of a book or a series of chapters. This is the beginning of something greater. The beginning of a new you. A version of you that doesn't run away from English. A version of you that looks in the mirror and says, "Yes, I can." A version of you that speaks, even with mistakes, because you know every word you speak takes you one step forward. You started with nothing, but you had a dream. Do you remember where we began? You were alone. No teacher, no classroom, just you, a notebook, and a small dream in your heart. That dream was powerful. It said, "I want to speak English. Not for anyone else, but for yourself, for your future, for your confidence." And you acted. You took small steps. You whispered your first words. You spoke to objects, to yourself, to the mirror. You listened to stories, repeated lines, and slowly your tongue began to move freely. That was courage. That was growth. Mistakes didn't stop you, they made you stronger. There were days when words wouldn't come. Days when you forgot the sentence. Days when you compared yourself to others and felt small. But still, you didn't stop. You made mistakes and learned from them. You felt afraid and still practiced. You got tired and still returned the next day. You became your own teacher. And that is true strength. Speaking English is not just a skill, it's a door. It's not just about speaking another language. It's about opening doors, to jobs, to friendships, to travel, to dreams. It's about opening your mind to the world and letting the world hear your voice. Now go out into the world. Use your English. Make mistakes. Smile through them. Learn from them. Grow from them. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel for more English practice and motivation. Let's grow together. Every day, every step, every word. Your journey continues. Keep speaking. Keep shining. The world is waiting to hear your voice.